Salute everybody. Thank you for pulling up to Miss Parker. Miss Parker, I hope everybody had a great week. We're almost close to the weekend. So salute. Let me do my salutes. Salute Sagittarius. Salute bruh. Salute Josh. Thank you for coming through. Melanated Jim, thank you for coming through. Loving your journey with London. Thank you for coming through, love. Nisha, my sis, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. Miss Tony, thank you for coming through. Hey, sister. Hey, sister K been fine. Hey, Miss Lady K. Salute. I'll thank everybody for pulling up today. I know everybody's probably got a lot to do, so I'm not going to keep you here too long. Trying to catch up on some watch hours and wanted to check on everybody and see. Hey, Ben Walker, thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Um, Again, this month is Gun Violence Awareness, National Gun Violence Awareness Month. So before I get started on anything else, I want to put the Real I Spy. Thank you for coming through. Hi, Amori sis. Thank you for coming through. I want to put some prayers up for these families. Um, Again, this month is June is National Gun Awareness Month. The color for Gun Violence National Awareness Month is orange. Hadia Pendleton, a young girl who died from gun violence in Chicago, would have been 26 years old on June the 2nd. After her death, her friends wore orange in remembrance of her. Salute, Christina. Salute, Rose. Thank you guys for coming through. So that's why orange became a national color for National Gun Violence Awareness Month for June. So prayers up to that young lady who lost her life. I want to say prayers up to 30-year-old Ronald Banks and also 10-year-old Ariana Davis. Ariana Davis was 10 years old. Let me shut this door, you guys. Get a lot of feedback. Ariana Davis was 10 years old. A couple of weeks ago, she lost her life due to gun violence. Then at her funeral, the funeral owner shot and killed 30-year-old Ronald Banks, the pallbearer. So not only did they lose the life of salute TT sis, and make sure Transparent, you drop your link. Everybody from the Rock Squad this year, please go subscribe to Transparent Talk and Lady K. And also Ben Walker has a channel. Roasted Toast has a channel. Amari has a channel. So if y'all don't mind, if y'all can drop y'all links in the chat so y'all can get y'all subs up and we can get everything moving. But yes, 10-year-old Ariana Davis passed away, and her cousin Ronald Banks was a pallbearer, and the funeral owner took his life due to some bad business years ago. Just horrible. Also, we want to say prayers for Ajike Owens, shot in Florida this past week. Her kids were playing in a neighbor's yard. The neighbor threw something, and you know how we are about our kids. Like, what? I'm going to go over and see her. And it couldn't have been. It might not even went the way the woman thought it was going to go. Salute So Icy Coco. So Icy Coco also has a channel. You guys, please go check her out as well. Good job, So Icy Coco. But Jake Owens, kids come running into her like, Mom, you know what I'm saying? Woo to woo next door threw some stuff at us. So one of the kids dropped her iPod. So she said, no, I'll go get the iPod. So upon going to get the iPod, she never even made it to the door to even talk to the woman about the situation before her life was brutally taken due to gun violence. Hey, Big Dog Philly, thank you for pulling up. Thank you so much. Also, prayers for this young man, Sean Jackson, 18 years old, and his father, Renzo Smith, 36 years old, killed after his graduation. Graduation is supposed to be celebrated. Our kids done made it. You know how hard it is to get the kids up for school and get them going, keep them motivated, keep them educated. It's so hard, especially with black families, especially a son. It's really hard. This young man, Sean Jackson, 18 years old, and his father, Renzo Smith, 36, killed after his graduation. So prayers up for these families that have lost their loved ones due to these heinous crimes. That's not how that day was supposed to win. That day was supposed to be celebrated, laughs, hugs, love, not crying, not grieving. Um, Prayers up for two brothers. Not only does this happen in our Black community, but it also happens in white communities as well, Latino communities. Um, Two brothers, Jesus and Sebastian, ages 8 and 9, fatally shot as they play with kittens in their backyard. 8, 9 in their backyard. We think it's fine. I know most of us have kids or grandkids, and go back in the yard and play. It's summertime. Go outside, or that's what kids do. Go outside and play, and especially when they're in their backyard. 8 and 9, two brothers killed by an adult and a teenager. So prayers up to those families that I did have time to take my time out to go read up on. And again, this is National Gun Violence Awareness Month. Statement from Joe Biden said that last year we lost more than 40,000 Americans due to gun violence. He said he's been pushing bills. He's been trying to get all these bills passed, and they get in the Republicans in Congress, and they continue to bid on keeping guns in the streets and in the wrong hands. He did a speech last week on this. Hey Tang, thank you for coming through. Appreciate y'all. Blenda Hillen, thank you so much. So he did put out a statement saying he's trying to push these bills, but the Republicans in Congress keep knocking them out and shutting them down. And you got to think we lost over 40,000 Americans due to gun violence. 40,000. That is a lot. So upon me wanting to stand up for something right, I read a poem by Dr. Maya Angelou, and she's an American poet and a civil rights activist. She said, I'm convinced of this. Good done anywhere is good done everywhere. For a change, start by speaking to people rather than walking by them like they're stones that don't matter. As long as you're breathing, it's never too late to do something good. So that's what I'm on. I'm on trying to make a difference and definitely bring awareness, and definitely making calls to these electives that's in office to see why is it, because this knock isn't being knocked at your door. This knock isn't coming to your door. It's almost like they're wanting the guns to stay so we can take each other's lives in the process. She said, yes, Miss Parker, now they have the lady in the green turtle suit, and she isn't showing any remorse for what she did. Sad for everybody. Life matter. Be careful and safe. Yes. Mr. West, I don't mind you being here, but if one of my sis, my sister is in the building, please be respectful, or, just exit out peacefully, you know what I'm saying? Because it's family first over here, and I don't do mess. So please. So I wanted to get my watch hours up. So I just want to speak on everyday life situations. Hi, Tierra, salute. Everyday life situations. Why do we need validation so much? I see so many people wanting to be a part of something. They have to be told, that's because I said it, Mr. West. That's what I said. I said what I said. I didn't say you was beefing with anyone. I said, but I do have people here in my chat. It depends on how they feel that I rock with. So I just don't want any problems in my chat while I do this. So again, right now, even with you doing that, instead of just going with it and saying, or whatever, okay, Miss Parker, that's all I'm saying. But so many people need to be validated. So many people want to be a part of something instead of being a part of what they got going on. Most of us come from a culture that gains confidence in the approval of our family. It starts with our parents, then teachers, and also at work. Now, social media, likes and comments is another huge way to seek approval. Of course, social media, likes and comments is a way to seek approval. When you don't get those stamps of approval. When you go, hey Bim, thank you for coming through. Salute Cola, thank you guys so much for coming through. But when you go look at your videos and stuff, and you're taking selfies and all of that, some people go and look and see who liked those pictures, and when they don't see the people that they wanted like those pictures, the other likes that was left for there or the comments doesn't matter, because they're seeking validation from somewhere else. We need to be told we are doing well. We find it challenging to see life independently without the support of others. How much ever liberal values we obtain, this stems from the desire to feel safe and secure within. It is linked to the overall feel goodness of ourselves. Remember, I'm not what I think I am. I am what I think you think I am. A popular quote on how much an image about us from others is the mindset of how many of us travel with. Knowing how disapproval feels like, we play safe and dumb to avoid conflicts. We need to reply in ways the other person wants to hear. These strategies we take as of the desires for our approval and seeking behavior. Someone else not agreeing with us is not hating us. This we must get into our minds first and foremost. So remember, somebody not agreeing with you or agreeing with us on what we got going on does not mean that they hate us. So you have to put that first and foremost in your mind. Disapprovals does not mean hate. When someone utters a thought different from us, instead of being mute or sugarcoating, expressing our inner voice and observing what the impression could at the most bring the most favorable incident, lessening the strength of a not authentic bond. Or a favorable consequence will be finding out differently opinionated people can be friends with each other with their distinctive ideas. This is the approach where relationships can evolve with the genuine, natural, and mature exchange of matters. It's settled in our mind through practice and observation. This approach, in the long run, retains our integrity. We all love validation. They said it during my notes. We all love validation, where we are appreciated for our efforts from others. Recognition makes us feel amazing about ourselves. But firstly, praising others matter. Loving ourselves, validation inside. So, upon reading many articles on why we should stop seeking validation, honestly, it's okay to validate each other's lives. Just that, like many other things in life, we should strike a balance between validating ourselves and seeking approval from others. The praise one receives from others should enhance the self esteem, which is already good. Good self esteem of our personal value, appreciating ourselves, which is stable and enduring, a trait to be grown. So, self esteem matters when you're looking for validation, because it is known for people that are seeking others' validation, seeking to be liked, is something that you're not liking within yourself, that you want others to like about you or say about you to get validation. A good thing about validating our feelings is we cannot only appreciate us for what we did, but also for what we had not. You have the right to feel what you feel. Yet, when we catch us going down the path of blues, recognizing it at the right moment to uplift ourselves will help us understand our feelings and work it out. The most important bond we need to have is with ourselves to function well with others. So remember, the most important bond we need to have is with ourselves, not others. You cannot function properly if you're not, you know, the most bonding with yourself. Centered in balance. External validation becomes a problem when it turns into an addiction. Our own self-worth comes from our personal growth and not from the comparison. Recognizing the place where you are in life helps to move forward. So where are we in life? Are we in a good spot? Where are you in life? That's when it comes to working on your, self-worth comes from your personal growth. Recognizing the place where you are in life comes from personal growth. Accept your situation as a fact, not as a judgment, only to instruct yourself to picture the whole story. Occasionally, taking account of others enlightens us with the possible opportunities that the spotlight should be on our path and our actions. Celebrate you in this world and let the world love you for that. Salute everybody for coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Low self esteem. Some people may constantly need approval linked to poor sense of self worth. We use approval to bolster our value. So again, somebody else boosting us up makes us feel like we're worthy, makes us feel like we are somebody. When really we need to build ourselves up. The desire to seek validation stems from the basic human need to be liked and accepted by others. So remember, the desire to seek validation stems from the human needing to be liked and accepted by others. How many people do y'all know? Even if it's yourself, just be honest. How many people are seeking validation? She said, I'm in the place of healing and reflection and personal growth. I no longer seek validation, just respect and acceptance. Absolutely. What does it mean when someone seeks validation? Validation is the desire to have someone else's approval or agreement with what you say, believe, or do. Which is interesting. I was one of those too, Tierra. I was seeking other people's validation, their approval of how I move, the way I move, what I say, how to think. But I got it bad. Because, like I said, I started recognizing my path. I started recognizing and accepting everything about me, accepting my situations and my flaws and things. Humans are naturally social creatures. We thrive in a community and therefore have a strong desire to belong in that community and seek validation from it. What kind of person needs constant validation? People with borderline personality disorder. It's called BPD, if you need to look it up. People with borderline personality disorder often struggle with the need for constant validation due to their low self-esteem. They have trouble determining what is right and wrong and require the approval of others when making decisions. Miss Tony said, when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, good morning, gorgeous, to yourself, beautiful kings and queens. Hi, amazingly beautiful. Thank you guys for coming through. Is it unhealthy to seek validation? It can take a toll on our self-esteem. If we're constantly seeking validation from others, we can start to believe that our worthiness is contingent on what others think of us. Low self-esteem can lead to unhealthy levels of self-consciousness and self-doubt. What is the root cause of seeking validation? Adverse childhood experiences and having low self-esteem may influence why we seek approval. If you have a fragile sense of self-worth, it can be hard to validate your own experiences. So you may need to seek approval from others. Again, I was one of those. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me see if I'm doing the right thing. I used to be told how to run my show or things. You know what I'm saying? What people think. And I would go with it instead of trying to seek validation, trying to fit in where others wanted me to be, not where I wanted to be. So again, I had to accept my situations and find ways to deal with my past, work on my low self-esteem, because I know I couldn't tell them which way to go with how they did things. Even in life, you know what I'm saying? When growing up, you just don't know. So you're seeking validation to be in this group of people. You know what I'm saying? You're waiting for them to approve you to be welcomed over here. So it just goes all throughout life, people seeking validation. Why is seeking validation? Why is seeking validation toxic? This can leave us with feeling disconnected from ourselves. Remember, I didn't know who I was. I lost who I was. I lost value within myself. My self-esteem was shot. So it was very toxic for me trying to seek validation. I disconnected from myself. And it said, as we are no longer taking responsibility for our happiness, finally seeking validation from others can prevent us from developing a strong sense of self-worth and self-esteem. So again, I didn't think I could go on without seeking validation from somebody else. What they felt like was good for me. Their happy was my happy. She said, "What? Do what makes you happy and live your life to the fullest with your head high." Absolutely. Glenda Hillen said, "Beating yourself up is self harm. Feel your feelings on your journey. Validate your own yourself with compassion and love." And you're absolutely right. That's where I was lost at with, like I said, I lost myself in seeking validation. I just wanted to be a part. I felt like I needed them to say, "Hey, good job." These a certain group of people we look for to tell us good job. So if a transparent talk said good job, it wasn't good enough for me because I was over here with this group waiting for them to say it, which never came. So that's what started making me disconnected from myself, thinking, am I worthy? Am I good enough for this? Am I doing the right thing? Finally, seeking validation from others can prevent us from developing a strong sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Here are 5 ways to deal with needing validation. Number 1, trust yourself. I wouldn't trust myself. I wouldn't trust my own judgment on how I was moving with my own life. I was letting somebody have power over me. So I lost trust and faith in myself. Stop comparing yourself with others. I am not them. They are not me. We are all different people. To each his own, we are all different. Be aware of your actions. Always take accountability and be aware of your actions. Practice self-love, as Glenda Hillen was just saying. Practice self-love. She said, when I was trying to seek validation is when I was trying to fill voids. I became someone I did not know. So trust me, I get it. Yes, that's where I was. Don't measure yourself on the basis of social media likes. How many of us do that? How many really are basing things off of likes on social media? As a content creator, basing likes, you know what I'm saying? Don't measure yourself on the basis of social media likes, including this channel. Here are some of the effects of validation. Invalidation often leads to emotional distancing, conflict, and disruption in relationships, as well as feelings of loneliness, worthlessness, confusion, and inferiority in the affected individual. Again, the invalidation left me to emotional distancing, conflict. She says validation from others show that you've given them power. Take it back from each one. You need all your power. Absolutely. I agree. So feelings of loneliness. Then I felt lonely because again, those people I was seeking validation from wasn't coming through. Those people that I wanted to be accepted by so bad wasn't coming through for me at all. So there goes the loneliness. Worthlessness. I was making myself feel superior, to them. They had more weight. I let them have power to where I felt worthless. I felt worthless. Confusion. The confusion kicked in because I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I was confused about why they wasn't accepting me the way I felt like they should accept me. So yes, confusion definitely kicks in and plays a big part. What are unhealthy forms of validation? What does an unhealthy reliance on external validation look like? Not being able to confront people or disagree. Bad problem with that. Me being able to confront people and disagree with them, bad problem with that. See, it's still people out there that want you to seek their validation. You can have a conversation with them, and instead of agreeing to disagree, you have to go by what they say and what they see, how they feel about the situation. That again brings that power back of, somebody having power over your life because they say it, that's what it is. No. God is with you and you're never alone. Absolutely. Miss Parker, you taught me that to carve my own lane. If I reach 1 or 2, I've done my job. Gratitude, Miss Parker. Thank you, Blended Healing. But yes, that right there, you not being able to confront people or disagree, that is a problem. Get around somebody, and when you telling them something and it's now it's this and that, and that's what it is, and you just, oh, okay. No, stick with what you want to say. It's okay to disagree, and it's okay to confront. That doesn't mean you hate each other. That's just, you know what I'm saying, you having power over your situation and not going along to get along for you to seek validation from them. Salute everybody that came in. Thank you. Is seeking validation bad for a relationship? Because, also it goes along with being in a relationship, men and women being in relationships. Validation is critical to all kinds of relationships, partners, including spouses, friends, family members, and beyond. Mutual validation, when both partners take steps to validate each other, is the core feature of and truly loving and healthy relationship. So, just for instance, if you're in a relationship and think about how much it matters to feel heard. There's nothing like knowing your partner hears you. To feel valued. We all know in a relationship we want to be valued and understood by your partner. How many of us been in relationships and didn't ever think that your partner understood anything you ever brought to them? How many of us been in relationships where our partner wasn't hearing us? How many times have we been in relationships where we didn't feel like we had value in the relationship? I've been there. I was just in a relationship. That's how I felt. But when you validate each other and you listen and you hear the other one out, and you value your partner and you understand, that's how you match validation in a relationship. Tiara said, I've been there. Is it normal to crave validation? We all crave validation. Again, we all crave validation. It's natural human instinct to feel accepted and liked by others. And this is especially true when it comes to our decisions and things we do in life. We want other people to tell us that we're on the right track, that we're doing things correctly, and that we're making wise choices. Again, how many of us have been there? Everybody wants that in life. Don't tell me nobody wants when you do something right at work. You know what I'm saying? That your boss gives you validation that you did that right. Like, oh, salute. Okay, Shane, good job. Okay, you did that correctly. You know what I'm saying? Shank, you're on the right track. Things like that. Or that you're making wise decisions. Oh, good choice. Yeah, that was a good choice. Good decision making. We all seek validation. So it's not nobody on earth that doesn't seek validation. Hey, Miss D, thank you for coming through. Now, I want to get into how society has changed our validation requirements. Roll back 15, 20 years, in those dark days when we picked up the telephone to speak to people and you knew your friends' landline phone numbers by heart. Our validation came from very different situations and experiences than it did now. When you sit up late night chatting about anything or everything and come home feeling so refreshed. Friendships and relationships were validated by handwritten letters and notes. Remember those handwritten letters and notes we used to write our friends back then? Melanated Queen said, that's my question. Is it always necessary? No, it's not always necessary to feel validated, but we all ask for some kind of validation in life. Not saying it's required or it's just necessary. No, but ain't nothing like being told, good job, you made a good choice and things like that. Friendships and relationships were validated by handwritten letters and notes, long telephone calls into the night, and the validation was perhaps less in your face, but more secure and consistent. You found out the updates from friends through conversation and letter and stayed in the loop through conscious action. So, like I said, we all remember being on those late night phone calls, validating each other through letters and stuff. Now, roll forward to 2023, and we are acutely aware that our connections with people have lessened. Time is moving faster. There's less of it, and so society moves us at a speed of knots. Postage costs are higher. Handwritten notes are all but non-existent, and thank you letters and Christmas cards are replaced with e-cards and text messages. Someone sends a birthday gift, and we rattle off a text message or Facebook post in seconds. Whereas 20 years ago, we made our children sit down to write a thank you note. Our human connection is smaller than ever before. In its place, we actively seek out validation in so many different ways every day because our needs are not met in the preferred way, human interaction. We post rants on social media looking for attention. We take dozens of selfies to get the perfect image and filter photos on Instagram until they look perfect in order to get the best impact. Children are in awe of vloggers and YouTube sensations, enthralled by their lifestyles and wanting the same recognition. Social media allows individuals to seek out validation on a new level. And if their post doesn't get enough likes or comments, it needs to be adjusted, reposted until it gains the necessary outcomes to release that dopamine burst. Meaning, I'm going to get to what dopamine means, but it says social media allows individuals to seek out validation on a new level. And if the post doesn't get enough likes or comments, it needs to be adjusted. Meaning, why didn't they get enough likes? Let me go put a twist on it. So then it gets reposted until it gains the necessary outcome that we want, the validation that we want to know that we got that validation we want for that video. What do you do when you confront someone about certain situations and the other party try to take control by cursing you out, knowing that they're in the wrong in your long-term friendship, or keep it? Well, I would have a conversation. I wouldn't end a long-term relationship based off of, I would just like, you cannot control me. You know what I'm saying? We are both adults, and if we can't have adult conversations without you feeling like you're trying to control me, then maybe we shouldn't conversate. Maybe we shouldn't have these kind of conversations. It depends on what kind of conversation you was having. But in life, I know what you're saying, Brown Sugar, because I have people. I talked to Shank about it, how people would try to make me feel how they felt. When they say things, it's supposed to stick. But I know I couldn't go to that person and say, well, don't talk about that anymore. I wouldn't bring that up if I was you. And I listened because I was seeking validation from that person. And I used to sit down with Shank like, Shank, do you think I could go to that person and say this? No. Do you think I could go to this person and run how they're doing things and moving around? He said no. So that's when I was letting, you know what I'm saying? I was letting somebody have power over me. I was letting people have power over who I was. I was letting people control me. That word you just put, take control. I was letting people control me and tell me what to say, what not to say anymore. If they talked and had a conversation, that's what it was. So when it happens, brown sugar, I ain't even gonna front you. I don't even say nothing. I just back all the way out. It's whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no need to argue. Because we can't change people. But I can change me. And people get mad when you change who you are. And they no longer have control over your life. People get mad. Because, see, they don't have control over their life. So when they see somebody that they can control, they do it because they know there's somewhere along the line we're lost. Let me read what Tiara said. Tiara said, she said, brown sugar, I would have to evaluate. And if this is something that always happens, I would cut the cord. However, that's my approach. Absolutely. Again, I say that that's what it is. She said, Tiara, you are so motivating. We need more people like you, Ms. Parker. Thank you, Melanated Queen. I appreciate that. But that's just real life. You know, we really just have to be real about what's really happening. And this is happening as I'm an adult. The conversations that I be having, and I shouldn't even have to have those conversations where I'm even questioning, am I wrong? I'm questioning myself. So I know I lost self-worth. I know I was feeling worthless. I know my self-esteem was shot. And these people know this. People know. There are now known addictions where people will seek out likes and attention on social media in order to feel authenticated, validated, or or that they simply matter. There are snakes in everyone's grass on this app. Yeah, Miss D, and I'm speaking for me, Miss D, in life, just things that happen and conversations that I do have with adults that I'd be like, am I tripping, or is this person really trying to have control over me, what I say, how I move, what I do? Now, in some situations, we do have to be cautious of how we move on this app. Once I get on this app and things I interact with, absolutely. That's not a question, because people have brands that I mob for, or somebody might want to bring me on their team, but they see how I'm moving and it is reckless and it's not good for them. I get those kind of questioning, but people simply trying to tell you what to do and how to move and what you need to talk about and what you don't need to talk about or say anymore. Absolutely not. I will no longer, and I say that all the time. Do I slip up sometimes and be like, hey, I think, what you think? So I fall back. You can control other people. You will not control me. I don't have to think like you. I don't have to say whatever you say, that's what it is, because that's what you said. We got our own opinion and feelings. I don't have to go with what you say. I have Pee Wee up here. Pee Wee.
What's going on, Miss Parker? How you
Nothing.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. I can't complain. First and foremost, salute to Miss Parker. Wonderful podcast. Wonderful platform today, Miss Parker. You knew I was coming, didn't you? You knew
Look,
I was coming.
I didn't know if you was coming with hot dogs or what.
No, this stuff that this how I live, right? And I was listening to you. First and foremost, I want to salute to all the moderators. Salute to Shank Rock. Salute to the Rock Squad. Salute to all people who's on Miss Parker platform. Salute to all her moderators. And you were talking about validation, and I come from the same places, right? And even as a child, because of my, and because you talked about the history of how we get to low self-esteem, no confidence, and things of that sort. And I have experience in growing up as being a foster child and things, you know what I mean, and always felt like I was unwanted, and getting to a point where as though Like I knew that it was something I was always seeking validation from everybody else because somewhere I feel as though I lost it because I was abandoned by my parents,
Mm.
right? So I'm talking about because I don't deal with surface issues no more. I deal with the stuff that's deep down inside of me that caused me to fuck my life up at one point in time, right? So and what I've learned that every time I seek validation, a lot of times I wasn't even comfortable with it. I wasn't comfortable with it because I was doing things that I really was scared to do. I was really fearful, but I needed the validation because of the lack of confidence and the lack of self-love that I had for myself. You know what I mean? So now that I have grown, right? Because a healing got to take place at some point in time. How long are we going to blame what happened to how we live in the day? How long is we going to do that? How long am I going to keep making excuses because my parents gave me up as a child? How long am I going to keep making excuses because I had to go in a foster care? How long am I going to keep continue to live in pain and then expect somebody to come and live in it with me? I'm talking about all this affects your relationships with other people. It affects your social associations. It affects your whole life because you continue to make excuses for your behaviors. And then when you continue to seek validation from people that don't even matter half the damn time, don't even have your best interest half the time. Then they could care less about what happened to you, but you seeking validation from somebody who don't even care about you. So now I'm stuck in this point of where I got low self-esteem, I got low self-worth, I got no self-love, I have no understanding for my own emotional condition. I'm emotionally beating myself down on a daily basis. I begin to whip myself with a baseball bat emotionally, right? Because I don't know how to stop looking for confidence and self-love in everybody else. So now I'm at a point where as though life is miserable. So listen, so I'm talking about the alternative. So the alternative was, listen, for me, because I don't got no problem with talking about me, was drugs. So now I'm seeking peace, love, and happiness in a substance that can't even give me that. But I think because it makes me feel good or it takes me outside of myself, right? Then I'm all right. Only to find out that the drug, the alcohol, the heroin, the cocaine, all that stuff, right, never gave me validation. It temporarily took me out of my pain, right, for me to come right back to the pain again, or to inflict more pain for me trying. Because listen, I was the person that I had to be the best at what I was doing all the time, right? Fearful because if I wasn't the best, you was gonna talk about me anyway. So now we here, right? I'm at them crossroads. Whereas though, like, listen, are you gonna continue to look for validation to other people, right? Or you can continue to try to build confidence. Like you definitely cleared it up. Everybody wants some validation somewhere, but how are you getting it? How are you seeking it? Right? Today I don't really seek it. How about I'm gonna change the narrative and I'm gonna make you give it to me? Because the thing about it is, and it's not even making you give it to me, because I'm gonna do such a good job at what I want to do. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. Because guess what? I have developed a level of confidence that say, listen, Daryl, you're just not that bad. It's cool to be Daryl. It's cool to be Pee Wee today. You understand what I'm saying? So now I'm going up the right road. You know, so I'm starting to believe in something other than people. I don't know how many, I don't want y'all to miss it. I'm starting to believe something that other than people, because listen, God gonna do something for me now, because guess what? I'm emotionally, mentally, and spiritually available. available for that, right? So now I got this confidence, right? I got some confidence, and I ain't got to seek validation. Because listen, when I show up, right? When I show up, the validation gonna be there because they're gonna see what I'm doing. I get people all the time say, "Yo, you're doing a good job." A lot of people, like I'm talking about coming from nothing to having something, right? I'm talking about being a no good from a no good, low life, ain't shit to becoming the matriarch of my family where they call me for everything. I'm talking about like, listen, I don't gotta seek the validation now, right? Because I'm validated with inside myself. I'm cool with me. I love me today, right? So the validation point is like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. The flip side, I'm gonna always give you the flip side. Sometimes being validated too much can cause you some harm too, right? Because listen, if you don't know how to handle validation, it'll turn into arrogance, right? It'll turn into sarcasm. It'll turn into overconfidence, right? So now I'm walking around like the snobby church people looking down because I don't pray the way you pray. Now I'm on the job, and because I do my job, you mad because I do mine to the fullest, right? Now see, because I'm saying, because listen, everything gotta have a balance. We talk about balance. We talk about balance now, finding a balance. Because I got some things now, and you still choose to live your life. I look down on you. No, I have empathy for you. I have understanding for you. Because listen, but I'm gonna tell you, the same way I came up, you can come up, right? I'm talking about when you look at the things about when people validate you and you're not able to handle it. You got to become emotionally mature, have enough confidence inside yourself to say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna take that." But listen, I ain't gonna walk in that all day. I ain't gonna walk like I'm better than. Because at any time, I'm liable to make a mistake. It's crazy how a person can give you validation one day and then talk down on you the next day. You feel me? And they told me, right? Everybody that's clapping for you ain't happy for you, right? Because they just clap because the eyes of others, and they don't want to seem like haters, but somewhere deep inside them, they like, well, why he get to do this? How about because I did the job? I had some integrity. That was the most thing I picked up with learning how to handle validation. Have I ever been validated to a point? Yeah. I've been validated to that point where that's why I can talk about it, where I was a lack of humbleness kicked in, a lack of appreciation kicked in. Because listen, I forgot who put me in a position, which was God, and then I became him. Well, what are you talking about, Daryl? What I'm talking about, because at first I was saying, well, give it to God, it wasn't me. At the end, I was saying, because my arrogance kicking and my cockiness kicking, I know I did that. You feel me? So at some point, you got to find the balance. I remember my man talking about, at some point, we people give us kudos, validation, kudos, whatever you want to call it. If I'm not careful, them kudos can work against me. Because now I think I'm better than everybody else, and I ain't open to learning. You understand what I'm saying? So the validation piece is definitely a good topic, right? You did a wonderful job. Because I'm a listener, and I went down that road with you from the childhood to being here, and then like, because if anybody that's you know my social media, most of the time I post things when I'm feeling blessed, right? Or I post my achievements, but I ain't looking for validation. I'm showing other people you can do this too. You talking about a crackhead, motherfucking dope addict, a motherfucker who a homeless person that been homeless before, a person that their whole family didn't want them around before, to being the person that I am today. I changed the narrative because I didn't like the negative validation that I was getting, because that's a form of validation too. Don't let that don't leave your pocketbook around that nigga. You feel me? Don't do this, don't do that. And when you come in, everybody clutch their pocketbooks. Now the day I walk in freely.
Mm.
I'm talking about being free and being all right with it, being comfortable with who I am. Because somewhere along the line in younger years, I didn't like who I was. So I seek validation to make other people like me. Every time I seek validation to make other people like me, I end up somewhere doing something that I probably didn't want to do. So having to get that back and being separated from it for so long, right? And then getting it and then don't know how to handle it and then had to find a balance to what you got to do. The process. It's called the process. So now I do what's necessary. I have some integrity most of the time. You feel me? And integrity and personal care, right, is what helped me to get the confidence that I have today. I'm not codependent. Because listen, a part of looking for validation is being codependent on other people's view or sight of you. But I don't go to sleep with other people's view or sight of me. I go to sleep with my own view and my own sight of me. How do I think I'm doing? How do I feel about myself? Because when I lay down, ain't nobody laying down in my head with me. It's just me. So like I said, sometimes the pat thing, you ever have one say, don't wait for nobody else to pat you on your back, pat yourself on the back.
Mm.
I ain't gotta wait for nobody else to pat me on the back, because when I do something good, I say, good job, girl. Thank you, God. You feel what I'm saying? So people that I don't seek validation. I don't seek it. I'm not looking for it. I don't care if you give it to me or not, right? Because I'm validated with inside myself already. I don't need nobody to say, yo, Daryl, you're doing a good job, because I know I'm doing a good goddamn job. You know when you fucking up, you know when you're doing good. Right? So I don't need nobody to say, Daryl, you good. Sometimes I just look in the mirror and like, okay, you better. I remember a person saying, I don't want to be better, I want to be better. That means I want to be better than my better. Right? So that was another level of me tapping into what was messing me up. You feel what I'm saying? So, and a lot of them things, like them things that our parents used to say to us, the people used to say to me, that shit don't even register no more. I still remember them, but you don't see that person I demonstrate today. I don't demonstrate that person today. How about this? If you notice, Ms. Parker, and I heard you say, like, did you notice the degree of the people who you was looking for validations with at the time, and then when you stopped looking for, how the degree of people that came around you changed?
Yeah.
Because they can listen. For real, you don't have no. They not necessary no more, because you don't need that validation. I surround myself with people who's going to keep it honest with me, who's not going to just sanction my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, that helps me keep my integrity. Sometimes people see you better than they see yourself. So I surround myself with people who's willing to build me up, because I'm willing to build them up. I'm willing to tell them when they wrong in their situation. The same way they can tell me when I'm wrong. A bunch of persons that sit around and co-sign your bullshit, how is that helping you? It's not. It's not helping me, because now I'm sitting in some bullshit because you done validated some bullshit that's not healthy for me, but you say you my friend. How about hurt my feelings but save my life? Hurt my feelings and keep this friendship because they're only telling you some shit out of genuine and love. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's just where I'm at. But it's a good topic. You know what I mean? I don't seek validation. Do I like it? Of course I do. In my relationship, of course I do. And on my job, of course I do. but I don't let it dictate where my feelings or my emotion or my spiritual condition gonna be. I don't become cocky in it. I don't want to be what they used to call a grandiose anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Now don't get my confidence fucked up with being um what's the word conceited, or don't get my confidence fucked up with me being thinking because I the thing about it is I'm the first to admit that I don't know everything and I can fuck up at any given time.
Mm.
Because guess what? I accept the fact that I'm human. I'm gonna make some mistakes, and when I make some mistakes, it's called a mistake for a reason. I'm not gonna beat myself up emotionally and mentally no more because I made a mistake. I'm gonna continue to go on because that's just what human beings do. We make mistakes. And I don't need you to validate it, keep telling me, oh, I got some friends that said that, you know, you fucked that up, right? Okay, but it's okay. Get back on the horse and try it again. You know what I mean? We got to make mistakes to learn not to do that no more. We got to make mistakes to learn that, okay, I can make, I can make a mistake, but I am not a mistake. I am not my mistakes, right? I can make some bad choices, but I am not my bad choices. So I don't need for longer to seek validation. Do I get it? Yeah, I get it a lot now. But I had to change the narrative of my perception of and my outlook of what I was seeking. Because once you start doing the right thing, because the thing about it is everybody don't like Dirt. Everybody don't like Pee Wee. Everybody don't like Miss Parker. So because one person out of a million don't like me, right? I need to go back to that person and prove myself to get validated by them. No, you just don't like me. Guess what? You're not liking me, and it ain't even none of my business. And for real, I don't even know the reason why you don't like me. But guess what? I'm not concerned with it. I'm not overly concerned with it because when I was seeking validation, I remember being overly concerned with why a person don't like me. It was too much to try to figure out. Well, you ever had I ain't did nothing to this person. I ain't did nothing to that person. Why they don't like me? Today I don't even care. You know what I mean? So and everybody and we see that on social media. I am not everybody's flavor. It's cool. It's cool not to be everybody's flavor because everybody ain't my flavor. We ain't vibing on the same wavelength, and it's cool. You know what I mean? So Miss Parker, I know you'll let me go on and on. I ain't doing it, Miss Parker. I'm at work.
You already know, man. You always drop gems. You know what I'm saying? And for those asking who's speaking on the panel, this is Pee Wee. This is Shank Rock's cousin, Pee Wee. Pee Wee has done his own demonstrations on Shank Rock's platform, so you can go over there and check out some lives that Pee Wee has done. And he always pulls up and has these kind of conversations. This is not the first time that Pee Wee's pulled up and just drop gems. He always does, and I always love how he, comes up here and uplifts me, not just me, but other people. You know what I'm saying? Thank you all. I mean, just for everything. Thank you for all you do for the platform, Pee Wee, because I need it. You know what I'm saying? We need it, and we need people like you to come up here and share your story and how you were seeking validation and add to the commentary. And I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. You know I love you, Miss Parker.
I love you too, Pee Wee. You guys make sure since Pee Wee's they've been looking for you, Pee Wee. I think Shank Rock has lost his flavor. They said, where's Pee Wee? Where's Pee Wee at? So they're no longer even looking for Shank Rock. They are looking for Pee Wee and those hot dogs. You hear me? They've been dropping hot dogs in the chat, no condiments, all dry hot dogs. So look, that is Doug 1 and 2, him and Shank. So yes, it was, man. Pee Wee put on an epic live, an epic comedy hour last Wednesday when Shank Rock hit his 4K. You guys go check that out. It was epic. It was everything. And when I woke up, Pee Wee, I felt like I had went out. You heard me?
Y'all crazy.
I woke up laughing. When I woke up, I didn't wake up yawning and like stretching. I woke up literally laughing. Literally. The third dropped the hot dogs. Thank you guys. Thank you, Miss D. They even got Miss D dropping hot dogs. You know, sidewalk gang up in the building. But again, thank you so much, Pee Wee, for coming up. This was just a good topic, you know, and some things I talk about, I think other people don't really want to talk about or take accountability for, you know, seeking validation. And you're right when you said sometimes seeking validation could get you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fit in and stuff and being to the wrong crowd. Hey, Tierra, salute.
Salute, Miss Parker. Hi, Pee Wee. How you doing? How y'all doing?
Yeah, Tierra. All right.
I'm getting blamed for my antics because of you, but it's all right. Lord, but nah, Pee Wee, you hit some good points, Miss Parker. You did too. I'm gonna give y'all this quick little jewel about how I came out of it, how I came out of looking for validation, and it was rough. I ain't gonna lie to you. So honestly, what I've came to learn about validation and seeking approval from others is that it comes from a place of what we call the void. And the void is being in dark spaces and in dark thought processes. And you're looking for something to fulfill something that you feel you're lacking. So ultimately, when you're trying to come out of that, or you come into this awakening and this standpoint of knowing what your worth is, that's the first step of coming out of validation. Because if you don't know the core of who you are, if you don't know your morals, your values, your integrity, what keeps you going in the long run, you're not going to be able to come out of that. You're always going to be looking for something to fulfill you from the opposite side of what your intention is. So my steps to coming out of validation were as follows. I rededicated myself to my spiritual journey. That was the first thing that I did, because for a while I took a step back. I did a show last week and I said, you know, there was a point where I wasn't praying. I wasn't looking for guidance. I wasn't looking for an understanding as to where I was. It was literally to the point where I was looking at myself and I didn't know who I was looking at. I didn't feel like I belonged in my body. I feel like I was looking at myself from the outside in. That's how you know when it is surrounding you and that darkness is just keeping you. But when I rededicated myself to say, you know what, I've been through these trials, I've been through these tribulations, and a lot of these people that were around me were not encouraging me to be better. They were willing to stand by and watch me destroy myself. They were willing to stand there and see me go down the same abyss they were going down. So when you're looking, and what you will come to find out is when you're coming out of it, people are naturally going to fall off away from you. When you choose to excel higher, when you choose a better vantage point for yourself, when you choose to re-enter your own life, people will fall off and you will know exactly who those people were. Because if you're trying to better yourself and make better decisions and live a life and walk down a path that's going to give you gratification and even humble you, they're not going to be able to stay around for too long because that energy is going to be conflicted. That's light versus dark right there in that moment. You get what I'm saying? So when you start to get to that level of realization, even if it's just the smallest step of just saying that you love yourself more, or just you saying that you want better for yourself, people that aren't on that same wavelength are not going to understand you because they're not doing the work. They're not putting the time in to relearn the triggers, to learn about what the traumas were that brought you to those dark spaces. They're not going to support you in that. So naturally, as that's happening and people are falling off, dropping off the map, they done logged off, y'all all supposed to be on the same, we gonna put like this, like the same group, the same link up, and it's like you're now in a party by yourself. The music's playing, the DJ's going, but you're in the party by yourself. You on a dance floor alone, but the light is literally on you. That's the best comparison that I can give it. So as you're rededicating yourself, realigning yourself, and figuring out what it is that you want to do to get yourself on this path, that's part of it. The next part of it is forgiving yourself. You got to be willing to forgive yourself for all the things you did wrong, the things that you subjected yourself to, the people that you allowed into your life, the things you did to conform to what other people's standards of acceptance were. You have to forgive yourself for that, because if you don't forgive yourself, there's no way that you can even forgive the people that did these offenses that brought you to that dark place. So you also have to forgive yourself, and you got to be honest with yourself. Like when I say it got to the point where I was literally one day in my bathroom and I was crying and I was apologizing to myself, praying. Like it was literally something that shook me and woke me up. It scared me at first, but I'm like, this is apparently part of it. This is a part of it. I have to get myself, I got to free myself of this weight. I got to get myself out of this dark corner. After the forgiveness comes into play, you now got to set these in things called intentions, or even if you want to call them promises. But this can be a list of things that you do, or this can just be a mental thing that you do where you say, this is something I'm going to do on a continuous basis. I'm going to speak life into myself. I'm coming out of this space of death. I'm going to give myself positivity. I'm coming out of this space of negativity. I'm going to give myself encouragement. I'm coming out of the place of judgment. You got to be willing to offset the negative to welcome the positive in. Once you walk down that road and you do that work, I'm telling you, there's going to be storms that come with it. Don't think it's just going to be something that's easy. Like people ain't going to try to attack you, that people ain't going to try to say things to make you think you're still that same person. That comes with the territory, because people want you to remember who you were instead of seeing who you are becoming. That's a part of it. The test is when you stay dedicated to that purpose and say, you know what, no matter what it is that people are throwing my way, no matter how many arrows they trying to throw at my heart or how many swords they trying to drive in my back, I am still going to stay dedicated to myself and what my potential is. I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to learn. I'm going to empower. And even in this moment right now, while I'm up here with y'all, I'm still doing that work. It doesn't end just because you make these promises and set these intentions. It is continuous. It's going to be for the rest of your life. Okay. You're going to get it from family. You're going to get it from so-called friends. Like all of that is going to come. But if the outcome and the positivity that comes from it is greater than the quote unquote invisible consequence that people try to give you, it's worth the ride. It's worth the walk. And don't run either, because you got to pay attention to every single moment that happens along the course of that growth, along the course of that change, till you get to that level. You can say, you know what? I know who I am. I know where I've been. I know what I've gone through. I know the challenges I have faced. I know the losses that I've taken. I know the days where the light was shining on me and I still didn't see it. You're coming out of that and you letting the rainbow and the grace of all that is divine surround you and keep you and protect you. That's how you come out of it, to the point where somebody could say something along the lines of, trying to poke and prod or make fun or laugh about what it is that you're doing. And it literally gets to the point where it's like, it may, you may get that little twinge that may bother you a little bit, but ultimately the greater reward is knowing that you've done what was necessary to put yourself in a better space. That's how you come out of it. And that's a problem with many people, even when you're dealing with things on, whether it's amongst, your friend circles or whatever, like you're going to run into these circumstances where people are going to try to deter you from the gift that God has given you. You have to give yourself grace and mercy. You have to give yourself your own acceptance. You got to look at yourself and know who you are and stand within that power, and it will exude itself in you. So even if you are a person that has required validation, no matter what the circumstance was or what you did during that time, you can come out of it. You can be delivered from that. And I promise you, when you get to that level of peace where all these different elements will try to surround you and try to encompass you and surround you and block you off from that light at the end of that tunnel, you're going to break through all those obstacles. Okay? That's how you come out of it. That's how I came out of it. I see Blended Healing came up here. Hey, girl, I love you.
Salute, Blended Healing. Thank you, Tierra, for sharing. It was so refreshing. But you are absolutely right. Salute, Blended Healing. Welcome.
Salute. Sitting up here with greatness. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So I just wanted to just tag on my sister right here and just hold on to her arm. Tiara, that was beautiful. Pee
Thank you.
Wee, that was inspirational. Miss Parker, as usual, you come up with the topics, baby girl. So just coming in with that, just holding on to Tiara's arm right now. The way I look at it is that you have to get yourself balanced because when the storms come, because they come, it ebbs and flows, and it's just like waves coming in from the ocean, hitting the shore, and eroding the sand. So when that happens in your life, it's a matter of balancing yourself out because you don't need to have outside validation from anybody. And I find myself, and if it wasn't for Mrs. Parker right here, that I found myself doing the same thing. Am I doing it right? Am I saying the right things? And then I had to realize that this journey is mine. This is my journey. And these are the things that I need to do. So if I reach 1 or 2 on my journey, then I have done my job. But when it comes to the storms, you have to get yourself balanced because the wind will knock you over. You need to hunker in and tie yourself in for those times when the storms come. Balance yourself out. Most times seeking validation from outside people. You have to recognize the fact that you're wounded. In some way, shape, or form, you were wounded. And you're looking for somebody to tell you, just like a child looking at a parent or adult, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing okay? Because you keep having that self-doubt. Because all along your path, what you did is you gave your power out to everybody else. Every time you go to somebody and say, am I okay? Did I give okay? Did I do okay? You gave power to them. So that means that what they say is more important than what your intuition says. So you need to go back to each and every one of them people and say, I'll take my power back. Thank you very much. I can use that power back. Thank you very much. Yo, bruh, sis, I'll take that back. Thank you very much. Because you have to go into the process of healing yourself from within. Outside is just a persona. It's the inside that counts. Your light comes from within to go without. And when it comes to change, you have to understand that this is your right now time to shine. This is your time. This is not something that just came about. You think that you're here by accident? You're not here by accident. Because each and every one of you wanted to find out what it was about needing outside validation. You are here at the right time, at the right moment, to hear our brother talk about his journey, to talk about our sister's journey, to talk about Miss Parker's journey and my own journey. Just to hear that. How many of us are feeling the same way? No, babies. No. It's your time to shine. It's your time. It's your time. And you have to understand when you're feeling all of these things and these emotions are popping back up for you. Do you know that's growth? That's seeing growth. You are going through a change that's so radical and so fast that you don't even realize it. And your head is spinning around. Your body's feeling weak, you're tired, you're drained, all of that because you're going through a radical rebirth, because you're leaving things behind that you no longer need or serves a purpose. And that's tough. because the comfort zone is staying where you were at, opposed to changing and being where you need to be. Time has ran out. Now's the time to embrace what it is. If you have to cut the cords and end the cycle, it's that time. It's that time to do that right now, because you have planted the seeds for your new journey in your spiritual walk. So now that you have planted all of those seeds and all of those things, and now you're deciding, you're stumbling a little bit. But my God, the harvest is there for you to pick at this right now moment. Ground yourself. Remember who you are and whose you are. Remember that. There's no time to feel ashamed of what you have done in your past, or even in your present, or what you may do in the future. Shit, we all spirits living in a human experience. So I need you to understand and get that in your spirit, including myself. I don't need outside validation to know who I am and what my purpose is and what my mission is. Stand your ground. Don't let anybody sway you into anything different than what you were built to be at this right now moment, at this right now time. Don't do that to yourself, because that's self-harm. Comparison is self-harm. When you compare yourself to the next person, that's of assault and a violation on you. Don't do that. Give yourself some self-love. Tell yourself in the mirror. I saw a young lady put it in the, no, I think a gentleman. Anyway, I saw it in the chat where they challenged you to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you the baddest bitch or dude on the planet. Ain't nobody better than you. Because if you don't build yourself up, then you're leaving room for somebody else to step in the door to try to tell you who you are. Stand your ground. You know what you're about. You know what your belief systems are. You know what your dreams, your hopes, and everything that you're trying to manifest, because it will manifest. At the end of this cycle, if you are feeling that way, just know that you must be winning. You must be winning. So believe in yourself and trust in yourself and have faith and stay the course. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm going to let go of your arm, Treats. I'm going to
No
let go of
problem.
your arm.
No, you better keep holding this arm, because we go a long time this road together. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm going to
no-
let go of your
yeah.
arm, Kiara.
I'm just saying, like, because the first sister saying, what's the name? I forgot her name, Miss Parker.
I'm
Not the second.
Michelle. Mhm.
Not no, the one wasn't. Yeah, let's say
Yeah.
you did a wonderful job too. But Tiara, she said something that sparked something in me too, because I remember at the beginning of this journey, right? Understanding that I had to forgive myself, right? Because listen, without self-forgiveness, I'm gonna keep throwing myself under the bus, right? Because I don't have no love. I don't have and I found it amazing how I could in them times I could forgive everybody else, but I couldn't forgive myself, right? And once I start forgiving myself, it's like a transformation took form. And people don't even realize that a lot of times my fight ain't even with nobody else. My fight is with me. I'm seeking validation because I'm not comfortable with who I am inside of who I am. Right. So my spirit is broken. I'm emotionally broken, and I don't know how to get out of that. So you got to start somewhere. And for me, mine started with my self-forgiveness. Right. And when I start, I'm talking about, like, listen, I'm talking about what, like Shay said, looking in the mirror, saying, like, listen, it's crazy when you can't even look in the mirror in your own eyes because you're ashamed of what you see. You looking, I'm like look in your own eyes. Like I had to look inside of me and see that it was something deeper than me than what was being shown on the outside or the stuff that I was putting myself through. right? And then once I start looking in the inside, because listen, if you look in the mirror and you look inside, you're gonna see where you're broken at. I don't care. They say the windows is the eyes to the soul. If you look in your own eyes in that mirror, and you can't, I'm talking about where though it took me like first time it might like been 2 or 3 minutes, and the second time it might have been seconds. Then it went to a minute. Then I was able to stand there and look at who I became. I wasn't ashamed of who I became no more. I didn't need the validation from nobody else because I had transitioned into something else. That rebirth that she's talking about. So now, like, listen, you can't even keep me out the mirror because I'm good with who I am. I'm spiritually refreshed over here. But I had to go on that journey. A lot of people don't want to take that journey. You become so miserable and looking on the outside when it's already in you. You just gotta find it. You gotta change. Listen, because I can't go into the trash can, continue to hope to find something there to eat. I have to get up, go out, and earn something to eat. Because it ain't in the trash. I wasn't meant to live like that. But because of my brokenness earlier on, that's where I thought I could find it at. And when I'm talking about the trash, I'm not literally talking about the trash can. I'm talking about the ways, the thinking, the perception that I had at the beginning. That's what I'm talking about. So when I get to a certain point, I start to discover like it ain't out there. It ain't out there. It's right here with me. And it's been here with me the whole time. I was just piling a whole bunch of stuff on top of it, trying to think that I was doing something for myself, and the whole time I was hurting and harming myself. That's the validate. That's when the validation ain't even necessary. Because guess what? God validate me every day I wake up. That's a validation. He wakes me up and say, all right, son, here's another day. What you gonna do with it? Yeah, that be the part for me. Because listen, once I open my eyes in the morning, guess what? I did something that a lot of people in the grave didn't do. They open their eyes again. I know my day is coming, but I'm gonna make these days the best days that I got and be the best person. I say that I try to be the best person I can be on a daily basis, even if I make a mistake, even if I fall short. I'm gonna try to do my best to be the best person. So as long as I'm trying to be the best person I can be, I'm all right. I don't need nobody's validation. I'm good. You know, there's definitely greatness on this panel today, Miss Parker. You pulled them out today, Miss Parker.
Yes,
I mean, this is just things that I go through, and I tell people, you know, this is where I'm doing my self checkup. You know, I'm checking myself at the front door, Pee Wee. You know, when you growing, this what comes along with it. You know, I was seeking validation. You know, all my topics come from something that I've gone through to get to where I am today. The insecurities, not knowing what path I was going down, Pee Wee, being a part of the bull, checking myself, losing, you know, not knowing my worth, feeling unworthy of a lot. So every day that I wake up and I pray, like you said, you know, I'm praying and I'm checking myself. I'm getting my checklist, Pee Wee. Now I got a checklist on Miss Parker. And I'm taking accountability of everything, my mistakes, my choices. So, you know, I had to think, why am I seeking validation from other people? Because I'm always seeking validation. But how many people can honestly say, yeah, I'm seeking validation? No, I ain't seeking validation. You know what I'm saying? I don't be looking for, I want to take my accountability today. And like I said, my channel is my journal. So then when I can go back and look at my growth and everything I'm working on within me, and you know, just I told my kids today I was doing my show and what it was about, and I talked to my family members a little bit about it. You know, I was like, hey, I'm doing a show about that today. Matter of fact, you know, I did a show about that last week. So this just it's a part of my growth and my journey, Pee Wee. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, sister. You're welcome.
Spirituality is that each one of you are sitting on this panel, and those that are in the chat, subscribers, even those up in the clouds and the bushes, is simply stated as alchemy. Because what you have done is taken yourself from one stage and transformed yourself into something else.
Amen. Becoming from the caterpillar to the butterfly. Okay.
Fly, yeah.
Let's speak okay. From the caterpillar to the butterfly, from the root of the journey, getting to that flower. It all comes full circle. And there was one more thing that I did want to say. There was one more thing that helped me come out the validation thing. And I'm not saying that y'all got to do this. This is just something that I did. I remember I took a picture of myself as a little girl. And I had a conversation with that little girl because I wanted to apologize to that little girl. I wanted to say sorry for everything that she was subjected to, all the feelings that she experienced, things that she couldn't communicate to people. I wanted to look at little TT and say, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for everything that you went through. Because honestly, a lot of us are adults dealing with things dealing with things we went through in our childhood. You know what I'm saying? And everybody goes through different things in those stages. And that's why they say the most important stages of your life is when you are growing up. Those are the crucial stages when your brain makeup is being formed and ideas about life are forming. And then the things you see stick with you long lasting. So I did have to sit with little me and tell her that I was sorry and that I love who she is. I love the person that she's become. Another thing that I did was I stopped looking at my bruises as bruises. I didn't look at them as bruises. I looked at them as wounds of war. Like, you've been through the war, you've been through the battle, and these are just the signs and the symbols of what that is. Then Blended Healing says something about radical rebirth. It's one thing to say you're a new person, but to say that you are reborn and to say that you have transitioned into this new phase of who you are. Because let's be honest, there is no do-over when it comes to yourself. There is no do-over. You can only evolve. You can only grow. You're still you. You're just a better version of yourself. And it doesn't matter how many days those dark clouds were hanging over your head. It doesn't matter how many times it may have rained on your parade. You can make another parade, but you will never get another you. So while you are here, you got to love yourself wholeheartedly. And I wish I learned this earlier on, but apparently my journey said, listen, you're going to go through a few things before you get to that point. And when God is ready for you, he's going to get you right where he wants you. You're not going to expect it. You may not even know, you may see signs of it, but when it's time for you to evolve, and when it's time for you to see beyond past what people want to accept you as, and you are ready to receive it, and you open up that heart chakra, it's all going to flow in. So all of us are butterflies. All of us are caterpillars growing to be butterflies. And when that beautiful vision of God's creation comes into full fruition, you're going to know the fruits of your labor are going to show. It can start off slow. It can accelerate. But I say take your time with that, because the rewards that come from each lesson are all going to be chapters to your journey. You could be in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. There's no such time limit as to when you can grow and excel. Whenever it's your time, that's when it's going to come. But your evolution is something that is not only going to set the tone for yourself, but you're also going to be able to pay it forward. So even in this moment, Ms. Parker, you paying it forward. Pee Wee, you paying it forward. Blended Healing, you're paying it forward. Because we all have gone through separate challenges and journeys that brought us to this very point. And God don't make mistakes. I say.
Again, Tiara, that was huge. I like that. That's something I'm going to do. That's definitely something I'm going to do. And before I get out of here today, I just want to read a couple of quotes to the people. And y'all please take in what this is 3 of the best people I've ever been around. Pee Wee, for one, been on my journey since before I began my journey. So anything he says to me, I take in and I use it. And I utilize everything He says, also, Tiara, you are such a powerful sister.
Inspirational.
You know, look, going back to little TT, it's big because I never thought of that. Blended healing, all your motivation, it's much needed. It's much needed. When I fall down, I know to pick myself back up, but come to you for that little touch of sugar. You know, I needed my tank, you know. So because they say sugar messes up the tank, but not mine. So she pushes me to the next level.
Gratitude,
I
gratitude.
appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. The only permission, the only validation, and the only opinion that matters in our quest for greatness is our own. Relying on external validation to understand your worth is not sustainable. If you depend on people to build you up, you also give them the same power to break you down. You are worthy regardless of their opinion. Pee Wee dropped off. Again, Tiara, thank you so much, sister, for sharing. I appreciate you so much.
You are so welcome.
Thank you so much. What do you got going on? I went back and replayed. Is your cup full? Is it overflowing with positivity? Or is it empty with, can you please tell them about that and where to go look at that? Because it's much needed.
Oh, sure. Y'all just look, check out Dose of Awakening podcast. It's there. I wasn't gonna leave it on my main channel, but I got so much positive feedback from it, and there was a breakthrough moment. I'm so mad, Blended Healing, because she did something on that live, man. Like Lord, I have not forgotten that moment to today. Like I am still thinking about that moment that I had with her. Like she just did something where it's like, if I needed a sign that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Oh Lord, I'm about to start crying again. Lord have mercy. She gave it to me. I was like, oh my God. Like I wasn't I'm just like, man, things just happen where you get confirmation. But when I talked about that specific episode, like that for me was ground changing. Like I feel like that was the best body of work that I've ever done, because in that moment it gave everyone a sense of understanding as to where I was coming from, and even the realizations I had to come to from personal experience. So if y'all are not following Dose of Awakening podcast, it's here on YouTube and it's on iHeart and it's on Spotify. But I am doing a podcast episode tomorrow, and I have to do this specific episode before Monday comes, because it literally, the title of the podcast is going to be The Gift of Transformation. And I think it's crazy that we're doing this today, and that for me was tomorrow, because I'm literally about to go through another transformation in my journey. So the Gift of Transformation will be tomorrow night, and I can't wait to do it. And whatever happens, because I know it's going to be a breakthrough of some sort. So
if I can get a moderator, Blended Healing, if you could drop Dose of Awakening, Miss Sierra Latrice's backup channel link as well. Salute Raslin, salute love, Auntie Fee. And also if one of my moderators can drop Auntie Fee about the facts, her channel. If y'all looking for Dolph updates or anything like that, she has great videos over there. If for anybody that's into the Dolph story, I know a lot of us are into our different kind of things, but Auntie Fee is all about the facts. So please make sure y'all go follow my sister there. And Miss Raslin Infinity has another channel as well. She has a channel. Please go make sure y'all follow that sister as well. She does content and she's amazing. So salute to everybody in the building. Thank you again, Tiara. And what time is this show going to be tomorrow, Tiara, so we can all make sure we're pulling up and hitting that like button for you and coming to listen to that great commentary.
8:00 tomorrow. 8:00 tomorrow night. Yes, it's gonna be good. Cause I have a whole. Let's just say I just can't wait to do it. I can't. It'll be 8:00 p.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. So if y'all come, I'll greatly appreciate it. That would be great.
Yeah, everybody make sure you pull up tomorrow. And if there's any content credits, make sure y'all go follow Shank Rock as well. He did a great live. The Rock Squad was up all night, Pee Wee. I hung all night, man. I didn't think man, I feel like I went to the club. I I think I've only had like 4 hours of sleep today. That's
Oh.
it. 4 hours. I went to bed like at 5 o'clock this morning, woke up at like 10. So I'm feeling off. I need to wake up right now with some coffee or something. But again,
Okay.
Pee-wee, thank you so much. Again, you guys go check out Pee-wee's demonstration on Shank Rocks Live. It was a great episode with Pee-wee for real. You know, again, gems, jewels, everything. And we all go through something in life, and you know, there's nothing like hearing somebody's story, and then you can relate and be like, "Hey, dang, this is true. This could help me in some kind of way, shape, or form." And that's what these two people, including Blended Healing, helped me do with my life. And again, I appreciate everybody for pulling up today. Please don't forget to hit that like button. She dropped that link. She said pull up at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Tierra got her show on iHeartRadio, which is epic. My sister, man, you are doing the big thing. You are doing the big things. And I'm glad to be following in your footsteps. For real, for real. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And next week, I think I'm gonna be one of my subscribers hit me up about talking about abuse. So
I'll be here for that one, Lord.
Yeah, me too. I'll be here.
I'll be here.
Pee-wee, please pull up. Pee-wee, please pull up. And Pee-wee,
I
I
will pull up.
definitely would love for you to pull up with me and another subscriber. She has she hit me up about a topic about substance abuse. So in 2 weeks I want to do one about substance abuse, and I know you have some gems for that one.
Yeah, just all you gotta do is send me the link whenever it is. Tierra, you on iHeartRadio, Tierra?
Yes, by the grace of God. Thank you. Won't he do it? Thank you.
Oh, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
So I need to. All right, so I need to get that information so I can pull up on your podcast tomorrow. Ms. Parker, it's always a pleasure. I'm always willing to share. Like Ms. Tierra said, the transformation. It's the journey, man, and the joy is in the journey. It's not in the destination because I'll probably never get to the destination. This is in a journey. You know what I mean? I gotta enjoy the journey while I'm going on it. The good and the bad. You already know, Ms. Parker. I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad that you do what you do. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad about anybody that's doing what's necessary for them. I ain't talking about for me. What's necessary for you? Because the thing about it is, I understand that the better I get with me, the better I get with you.
Amen.
The better I get with being able to accept people with who they are and where they are. Because I ain't always been in this space that I'm in. I love inspiring people. I love to be able to be of assistance and to help a person get better because I remember being there to help people mess their life up. I remember being an assistant of helping other people get high. You know what I mean? Things of that sort. Now I work in a field where I help people. I'm always available for people. It's a blessing. You know what I mean? That transformation that we talk about. That being better with being able to accept me for who I am with my mistakes, my flaws, my cuts, my sores, my bruises. I don't sit around and beat myself up in the morning. It's called life. And guess what? As long as you living it, long as I'm living it, I ain't got to worry about what's going to happen after I'm gone. Because I'm living my best life right now. So, Tierra, thank you for gracing the platform with me.
Absolutely, Pee-wee. And thank you for exposing the hot dog-less, bunless hot dogs that get served over there on the Rock Squad.
They call him Pee-wee. They said Pee-wee the hot dogs is ready.
You ain't gonna never let Shank let us down. Shank, my bad, Shank. I love you, homie. But y'all have a blessed evening. I need to get the information from Tierra. So, Ms. Parker, if you got it, you can send it to my.
It's in the chat. They dropped the link.
All right. Or Ms. Parker, can you send it to my Instagram or my Facebook page?
I will. I'll drop it in there tonight.
No problem. I hope to see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night. Okay. I love y'all, Ms. Parker. I'm proud of you. Keep doing your thing, honey. Okay. Because I'm living for this. I seriously am. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for lighting the torch, honey.
All right. Thank you, Tierra and Pee-wee.
You're welcome.
Also, you guys make sure you go follow my girl, So Icy Coco. In so little time, I'm so proud of you, So Icy Coco. You almost at your 1,000 subs, and that is big. And you drop shorts, and I mean, your visual is amazing. I love it. Please go make sure y'all follow my girl, So Icy Coco. Get her to her 1,000 subscribers. Also, make sure you guys go follow the infamous Blended Healing. Go help my sister get her sub count up. Pull up in the morning when you get out of the bed. You're like, oh, I don't want to go to work. Not today. When if you up with that mojo, sit at that table and listen to one of Blended Healing's lives, and I'm telling you, it will get you through your day. She's awesome. Everybody have a great night. Everybody have a blessed weekend. And again, I will be doing a live about domestic violence, and then also in a couple of weeks I will be doing one on substance abuse, overcoming addiction, being a new me for the next person to tell their story, and being a new them, all the obstacles that we overcame, all the mistakes, where the mistakes landed us, and how we overcame our mistakes. And it's okay to talk about it, being okay to talk about it. Because this is healing. This is growth. Thank you, So Icy Coco. Thank you, So Icy Coco. Again, Tiara Latrice will be going live on her Dose of Awakening podcast. And if you can't find it, also just hit the Tiara Latrice show and look on her community wall. And it is there where you can just hit the link on the community wall and get to that video, get to the live. Love you too, Arissa. Love you too. And I have major gifts. Like, my subscribers have been so good to me. Thank you so much to my subscribers. I love y'all. Without y'all, there would be no Miss Parker channel. So everything is for y'all, for all the content creators. I wish you all nothing but the best with your channels. Peace and blessings. Hot, rare, and iconic. I'm ending the show, so just go back in if you don't mind, catch the replay. Please don't forget to hit that like button for me. God bless your drug-free journey. Thank you, Auntie Fee. Thank you. I think it's a lot of people that would like to share their story, Auntie Fee, and I can't wait to see what they bring to the channel and to the platform. But again, thank you guys, and everybody have a blessed, safe weekend.